Malele, talofa, bula, and welcome to Season 5, Episode 44 of Breakfast Bites by TEIVOVOsports.com. A wrap of Pacifica People sports news on another cloudy, warm and bright Wednesday morning, 17 May 2023. Coming to you with tons of hanisi from the 180th meridian in the middle of the Pacific Ocean. In rugby, Super Rugby Pacific Round 12 games this weekend, starting on Friday. Moana Pasifika to host the Crusaders and the Reds to host the Blues. On Saturday, the Highlanders host the Rebels, the Chiefs host the Hurricanes, and the New South Wales Waratahs host the Fijian Drua in Sydney. While on Sunday, the Force host the Brumbies. In Rugby League, so St. George Dragons sacked head coach Anthony Griffin yesterday. The biggest losers are their loyal fans, who once again miss out this season with their finals chances all but gone after it took Dragons bosses 11 rounds to make the obvious decision. Make no mistake, St. George Dragons captain Ben Hunt will be looking at alternative options after Anthony Griffin's sacking. The champion number 7 is contracted until the end of 2025 with the Red V, but there will be rival clubs eyeing Hunt as a halfback. The Bulldogs perfectly fit the bill. In football, Milan have it all to do against rivals Inter Milan in their local Italian derby, while Manchester City hope to banish memories of last season's painful semi-final exit to Real Madrid in their UEFA Champions League semi-final second leg clashes starting today. We tip Inter Milan and Man City to go through to the grand final. In the NBA, All-Star Laker D'Angelo Russell again attempted to promote Cocoa 5 sports drink at an NBA media conference yesterday. This comical second attempt only adds to the already growing promotion of Cocoa 5, thanks to Russell, with 3.1 million views already. Gatorade is the NBA's official sports drink sponsor, and they're not happy. Russell and the Lakers begin their Western Conference Finals series against the Denver Nuggets today in Denver. Yes, the Philadelphia 76ers have parted ways with head coach Doc Rivers following their NBA Eastern Conference series loss to the Boston Celtics. Bye-bye, Doc. In sports biz, behind another clutch performance from Aussie star Sam Kerr, Chelsea defeated Man U for its third consecutive Women's FA Cup title, and it's part of a much bigger victory for women's football. The Blues won in front of a record 77,390 fans at Wembley Stadium, setting a world record for a women's domestic club game. It continues a promising trend of increasing attendances for the women's game. In April 2022, 91,000 fans. 91,648 fans to be exact, packed into Camp Nou to watch Barcelona beat Wolfsburg in the Women's UEFA Champions League semi-final. And that momentum is expected to continue in the upcoming FIFA Women's World Cup in Australia and New Zealand. More on women's sports in my new Background Buzz segment at the end. Finally, in boxing, in an opinion piece for the New York Post yesterday, British media celebrity Piers Morgan compares Florida Governor Ron DeSantis to the greatest, Muhammad Ali, who came back to knock out George Foreman in 1974 to win the world heavyweight boxing title. Foreman duly unloaded his relentless bombs on Ali, who spent most of the time leaning on the ropes, soaking up the fearsomely powerful assault, Morgan wrote. Nobody could understand this apparently suicidal rope-a-dope strategy other than Ali himself, who had deliberately planned it to exhaust his opponent. According to Morgan, Ali didn't beat Foreman because he was the stronger man. He won because, and I quote, he had the smarter tactics and the courage to execute them, end quote. All attributes that Morgan thinks DeSantis can use to beat Donald Trump should he run against him in 2024. Okay, if you say so, Piers. I wonder how much he got paid for that. Okay, sports fans, on Background Buzz today, I take a closer look at how World Rugby is playing catch-up with the phenomenal growth of mainstream women's sports like football, professional basketball, rugby league, and boxing. World Rugby recently announced the first locations, dates, and a vibrant new brand, WXV, the new international competition aimed at increasing the competitiveness, reach, and impact of elite women's rugby. Starting in October 2023, WXV has a clear mission to raise the profile and competitiveness of women's rugby, women's 15s rugby, by providing the global platform between Rugby World Cups to increase the reach, impact, and value of the sport and growing the game as a whole. Importantly, it will double the number of annual international fixtures for most competing national teams to raise standards at Rugby World Cup 2025 and beyond. So what does this all mean for women's rugby in Oceania? Rugby World Cup 2021 champions New Zealand will host the world's top teams. England, France, and Wales in the 16 top-level WXV1 competition from 21 October through 4 November this year. The World Rugby Pacific 4 Series 2023, with Australia, Canada, New Zealand, and USA contesting, will determine the remaining 3 teams in WXV1, and the last team will drop into the WXV2 competition. Each team in WXV1 will play 3 games, and there will be no relegation or promotion for the first 2 years. Meanwhile, Cape Town, South Africa will host the WXV2 competition from 14th through 28 October 2023, same dates as WXV3, consisting of 6 games playing in a cross-pool format, including 2 teams from Europe, Scotland plus 1 of Italy and Spain to determine the European teams in WXV2 and WXV3, the 4th place team from the Pacific 4 Series, alongside 1 team each from Oceania, Asia, and Africa. Team Fijiana will likely qualify for WXV2. The big question is, who else from Oceania will be in contention for this one spot? Samoa, Tonga, or our sisters from Papua New Guinea? The 6th-placed regional position in WXV2 competition at the end of each season will be relegated to WXV3. The 3rd-level WXV3 host will be named once the participating teams becomes clearer to maximize attendance, reach, and impact. So far, only Ireland is confirmed in WXV3, with the remaining places to be determined via regional qualifiers starting in May, with competitions in Africa, Asia, and Oceania. So, which countries will be playing in the Oceania regional qualifier in Australia in May? That's like now. Brazil and Colombia will play home and away games to determine South Africa's qualifier for WXV3. The bottom team of WXV3 will play off against the next best ranked side according to the World Rugby Women's rankings after the final game of WXV each year. A full review will be undertaken in 2025 with all participants collectively, as World Rugby looks to define a sustainable global calendar for the international game. World Rugby says WXV is more than a world-class competition. It is a statement of intent, a vehicle to supercharge the reach, competitiveness, and value of elite women's rugby. We are on a 3-year sprint to an expanded Rugby World Cup 2025 in England, and our relationship with participating teams is more than simply an event owner. We will be a partner, a supporter, and investor, helping unions advance the women's game on and off the field, says World Rugby. So I hope our young girls across Oceania get the message from World Rugby loud and clear. They are serious about the accelerated growth and expansion of women's rugby globally. So girls, if you're thinking about what sport to participate in, try rugby and see the world. And meet great guys, of course. And that's a wrap for TEIVOVOsports.com. I'm Calden Kamea. Please hit the like and subscribe buttons below if you want to receive more Pacifica sports highlights on Breakfast Bites. Mahalo, vina'a, and thank you all too much for all your love and support.